Death Valley, and so I'm really excited that you all are here today.
And I know we're making one of your favorite meals of the day.
Yes,
breakfast. Go for it.
Breakfast, we're seeing so much more research on all the time.
Right.
The importance of breakfast, of course, but the protein at breakfast.
All right.
So the recipe that we're going to do today is power-packed with protein and good stuff for getting that day started.
Yes.
You know, breakfast means break the fast.
Right.
And
Good
so
point.
it's a perfect thing. After we've slept all night, it's time to refuel the body and get it revved up for the day.
Yes, and this is also a recipe that your family is going to fall in love
Yes.
with. My cowboys at home love, love, love this. When you're on the go, it's great because you can pull these out of the freezer, or you can keep the fillings separate in your refrigerator, and you can build them as you
That's
go.
awesome. Because so many people say breakfast is such a hard meal to get on the table. So,
Exactly.
So I love things you can prep ahead like this and have ready to just pull together, put them right out there for them.
You can eat them as you're driving, as you're out there working cows. You can do it. So here's our mixing bowl, and what we're going to start with is kind of the glue, if you will, that holds these guys
Binder.
together. And I know you're going to want to talk about this, Karen, because this is our plain Greek yogurt that we're going to add to our mixing bowl.
And this is, like she said, plain, unflavored. I love using Greek yogurt because it is twice the amount of protein as what regular yogurts that we're used to are. So. And it comes in all flavors, but obviously in this we're going to use plain. So be sure and use Greek yogurt whenever you have the chance. It's just a great source of calcium and protein.
And also, I know what you're going to say is we just added some Hellmann's mayonnaise to the Greek yogurt. And so using the yogurt as part of what we would typically add for the mayo is going to
cut lots of fat.
Exactly.
Absolutely. The Greek yogurt is a lower fat product, and obviously we know mayonnaise is a higher fat. So by substituting part of that, it's cutting that fat. And the other thing I love is they're coming out more and more with the healthy oils, which olive oil we know is a very healthy oil. Heart healthy oil, rich in omega-3 fatty acids. And so by using that in there, we're even giving it another boost.
Right.
So
and what I have just added was our spicy brown mustard, yay, and a very important ingredient, which there it is right here, our freshly shredded horseradish, which is really going to boost the flavor. And notice that did not come from the mayonnaise aisle. That is where you're gonna find that in your typically in your refrigerated near the meats, because we want freshly shredded horseradish in this to really kick it up. Then to give it an additional spice,
little red pepper.
Yep, our red pepper flakes. So we're just going to combine all of these ingredients here in our bowl. And then to that, we want to give it just a little shake of our Worcestershire sauce.
And we selected to use the light today because light is only 20 milligrams of sodium per serving versus regular, which is 55. So it's less than half the salt of regular woozy.
I knew that you would point that out, and I'm glad that you did. Good girl. Then here are our hard-boiled eggs. We have 8 hard-boiled eggs. Is that how many I think go in this recipe? Yes. And also I want to remind you, watch for the video, because we're going to show this really cool way of hard cooking your eggs in the oven. It's a neat trick. So we're going to add those to our bowl, along with our cheddar jack.
Yes, and I want to show you too, today we actually use a 2% milk, which is a lower fat cheddar jack. So that's another option to help cut the fat a little bit in this recipe. Another thing you could do really too is use just egg whites. If you wanted to. You could hard boil your eggs and just use the whites. That would get rid of a lot of the fat and cholesterol from the yolk.
That might fly at your house, but it would not fly for Cowboys. I can tell you that, but that's all right. A little bit of kosher salt,
Absolutely.
And then freshly ground black pepper. And then one very, very important ingredient, at least at my house, would be the bacon. Our chopped bacon. All right, and also we are going to show you a really quick video that you'll want to watch for how to do your bacon
in the oven.
Yes. Keep all the mess in there.
And all the smoke and everything else.
Yes, and a lot of times when I cook my bacon, I love to just get my kitchen shears out and grab all those up. And yeah, Karen, if you would stir that, that would be great. I'm just going to chop this up and add that in there. Now this is how I typically make this dish, the Cowboy Breakfast Bites, for my family. But when you don't have starving teenagers standing over you wanting their breakfast, or if you're going to have a brunch and you want to make this a little bit more of an upscale dish, this would be our wonderful aromatics, our red bell pepper, There's a jalapeno and then also an onion. So I'm going to have Karen go ahead and stir that in and add some pretty
now
color.
we're adding what? Antioxidants.
Yes.
All those great colors. You know, in our fruits and vegetables, the darker the color, the better the nutrition. So when you're adding things like red pepper, green pepper, which you've done here, you're adding so much more nutrition to your dish.
Well, and
not a lot of calories.
you're also eating with your eyes first in that instance.
that's beautiful.
Isn't that a pretty mixture?
Yes.
Yeah. So from this point, Karen's got her scoop there, and what she's going to do is she's going to take that scoop and she's just going to scoop that up onto the mini bagels that we have over here. If your family doesn't care for, we're actually using a whole wheat mini bagel. If they don't care for that and you'd like to use English muffins, feel free, but I knew, you know, cooking with the dietitian today, I was going to have to do the whole wheat bagel.
Absolutely, and be sure when you read that label that it's the first ingredient listed must say whole wheat, 100% whole wheat, stone ground wheat, something to the effect of whole.
Right, because the word that they probably don't want to see first is enriched.
Enriched wheat flour, while it's very nutritious and has great properties, enriched wheat flour means that a lot of the nutrition and the nutrients and the fiber have been stripped from that product. So that's why we want to make sure. Right.
So she is just dishing up our egg mixture onto the bagels, and after you've put those on there, you might take your fingertips and just kind of compact that down onto each bagel before you pop them into the oven.
Oh, these look delicious.
Yeah, now at this point, you can put these right into your freezer just as is, or if you want to just keep this in your fridge and make these, I think I mentioned that earlier, as you go, you have that option.
Delicious. And that cheese is going to melt. It's going to be just really yummy.
Now, behind me, we have our oven preheated on broil, and we're going to put this on the center rack. It's low broil, and we're just going to put this here for a few minutes until they're golden brown and hot throughout. All right, I think our Cowboy breakfast bites are ready. We're going to take them out of the oven.
Smell delicious.
Yes.
And they're beautiful.
Don't they look delicious?
Very much.
All right, so you can see they're golden brown and bubbly, and Karen's got a beautiful platter here.
There we go.
And so we'll transfer these. This is not typically how I would serve them to my family. They would just be taking them right off the baking sheet. But for your guests, you're going to want to put them on a nice pretty platter. And Karen, what about additional things to eat alongside these?
You know, this has got your whole grains, it's got your protein from the eggs, it's got some vegetables. If you just added a glass of milk and maybe a fruit salad on the side, or just a bunch of grapes or something like that, you'd have a complete meal.
A complete breakfast on the go. So thank you so much for joining us here in the kitchen with Karen and I, Chef Allie's Farm Fresh Kitchen. And we invite you to come back because we're going to have more cooking videos, cooking tips here, and also watch for the Kansas Farm Bureau's membership magazine, Kansas Living. We'll be featured in there. Lots of great info, so please join us. I'm Chef Allie, and remember, now you're cooking.